So as Phil said, I really want to give you guys some tips to just take better photos, feel better in photos. My whole shtick is really on confidence building. And although that might sound a little cheesy, I am really confident that what I'm going to talk about today is going to help with that. And I want to ask you guys a question before I get started. Who, and hands up if you have, ever felt like or said that you don't look good in photos? Love it. Okay, this is great because I'm okay. And I would say 95% of my clients say that before we start working together. And it's kind of my favorite thing because I get to prove them wrong. So I'm going to kind of give you guys a couple of my trade secrets today on how I do that. And you can use these in so many different areas and ultimately up that professional image. Before I get into those 3 tips, I do want to just hit home with the fact that you still need professional branding photos. Obviously, that's something that I do, and I'm going to be biased when I say that they're really important. But really and truly, your brand is not just your logo. Your brand is all-encompassing, right? We can talk about color palettes. We can talk about your entire website, the graphics behind it. There's so many pieces to it, and photos is a very big piece. I'm not gonna ask you to raise your hand. It's just more of like a just food for thought thing. But if you're still using stock photos on your website, let's talk. And if your headshot is from 10 or more years ago, we should also probably talk. And if your headshot maybe is a selfie that's in at the end of your email signature, and it's clearly a selfie that you took on your phone, I'd also love to talk. Number 1, this is very simple, very easy. Oh, you're already writing? Oh, I feel so honored. Okay. Clean off your camera, please. I know, this sounds ridiculous, but I can't tell you how many people I have seen, or not people, photos I've seen on social media where they're, yes, like for real. What do we use our phones for? Everything. Your kids grab them. They get thrown in your purse. You're on the phone. There's only 2 ladies in the room, but like makeup, as soon as you're on your phone, it's on your front camera screen, right? Please clean it off. Like it's kind of gross when you think about it, but like, yeah. Okay, I want you to do that right now. Pull out your phone because I am going to get you guys moving a little bit today, so you might hate me after I do this presentation, but that's okay. Okay, so easy. That's one thing. If you've ever tried to take a picture even somewhere like this where there's lights and you get like the streak of like a line going through the photos, it's literally from a dirty screen. So, okay, number 2. This is a very foundational piece of what I do as a professional. I'm obviously not going to get really geeky on you today. I'm going to give you the basics, but it is very important, and I would say it's 80% of my job is lighting. Okay, Sergey knows this too because we're going back and forth with moving this light. But really and truly, restaurants is oftentimes my greatest example in every bad way. It's not it's awful lighting in here. Like it's trash. And the main reason is if you look up and see all these pot lights, that is the culprit, okay? Because they're straight down lighting. So if I stand, can you see there's a lot of light here. So if you have, I'm actually starting to get gray hairs and it kind of freaks me out. But if you need a touch up of color up there, right? Or if maybe you're balding a little bit, it's gonna emphasize this. And not to mention the fact that even if you're not, it just doesn't look great, okay? It's really bright here. What else? If you look at the profile of my face, it's not flat, right? So you've got my eyes go in, my nose goes out. We'd look weird if we had flat faces. But in saying that, light here, then my eyes concave. You see how dark my eyes are?
Yeah. Under your eyes.
It's the worst. And I always have bags under my eyes, and it just emphasizes that. It's the worst. And then I have a big nose because my nose is highlighted. You see that? It's awful. Okay. Right? So I want you guys to take your phones that you just graciously cleaned, and I want you to take a selfie. Some people have better lighting scenario. I'm just looking at your faces where you are than others, but that's okay. Take a selfie. You don't have to post it. Just take one. So now you have your reference photo. Now I'm going to show you the most thing. And I use this all the time. And again, in the other room, it was a little bit better. That's okay. We're going to make it work. What other resources do we have in here besides Sergey's light? And one of my favorite things to shoot with or use as a light source is window lighting. The reason why it's different is because it's a different directional light, okay? So when I'm standing under this pot light, you're seeing all the wrong things are highlighted, and if I have any like pimples or imperfections on my face, it's gonna create really harsh shadows in the wrong direction. So when you're using a window light, it's coming from the other way, right? It's flat, soft lighting, flat, soft lighting. So when you stand in front of a window and you face it directly, you're now taking away all those shadows. So now you don't see any imperfections. It's not highlighting gray hair, dark eyes, big nose, right? It's flat. So now I want you guys, I know there's not very much room, but there's not very many of us. I'm gonna give you like a minute to go take a picture, basically like Adam just did, of your face like facing the window. So not sideways, facing the window. Okay, I only have one more point, but it is a good one too. So that is the easiest way. Just think about the direction of light, okay? Think about the direction of light. The easiest way, and most of my selfies are me standing in front of a window, and if I'm shooting a client in a studio, oftentimes I'm getting them really close to the window, and that's how I'm shooting, because it's very attractive lighting, right? Everyone seen that? Okay. So even like Adam too, where'd you go? He took a couple where his back was to the window and he showed them to me, and then he turned around, and that's even night and day, right? Okay, so number 3. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna get rid of all your double chins. Are you ready for this? Okay, so I have two points to this, if you will. So I'm gonna call out all of the men in the room. There's only 3 of us girls, so I love this. This is great. But this is the most standard posing, like natural posing that men do. Are you ready for this? Okay, this is what a lot of men do. And I'm just going to say, I know you want to look tough, but I'm going to show you a way to get rid of the double chin when you do that. When we're standing, and we naturally do this a lot because we're on our phones a lot, right? So we're sitting like this. You see that just happen, right? We do this all the time. So what we're going to do is obviously the opposite of that. So you're going to bring your chin, firstly, when you're taking a picture or someone is taking a picture of you, your chin is going to go straight towards the camera. So if I'm standing sideways to you, it goes out this way. I know it feels really stupid, but trust me, right? Because we're elongating our neck in this scenario, right? We're going from here to here. You're elongating your neck. Now, the second piece is also really important because your chin usually stays up when your chin goes out because you're thinking about your chin going to the camera, right? So you're like, okay, this feels so dumb. We need to bring our chin down because when our chin is up, we're also drawing more emphasis to our chin because the chin is closer to the camera, therefore it looks larger and less structured, okay? So here goes out and then down slightly, right? So that your face is, I know it feels so stupid, but trust me, you do, absolutely. And you don't need to overdo it. You don't need to be like this, right? Like it can just be a slight, it's basically just being mindful, right? Of not being like this or like standing like this, right? So it's not about necessarily having or not having, it's not about necessarily having or not having a double chin. It's literally about angles and knowing how to work with them, okay? That's my spiel. My ending was literally going to be, if I had a mic, I would drop it because they're all like mind-blowing things. Yeah, I guess. I've got this one, but I don't want to touch it. But yes.